Hey guys, okay, so we're back this week with a new episode, and this time we're talking about internships.
We both used to intern for the Everygirl and now have other roles.
Yes. Some of us a while ago and some of us more recently. So we're going to talk about how to be a good standout intern and maybe even make it into something more.
Okay, so our first piece of advice is to say yes to everything.
Definitely.
So if anybody offers you some kind of opportunity that's just a little bit above and beyond, a little outside of your comfort zone, say yes to it.
Absolutely.
So, for example, right about when I started as an intern was right when we were starting to make these videos that you're watching right now.
Yes.
So Caitlin had asked me if I had any interest in staying late a couple different days, kind of to flesh it out, see how the video was going to work, and I said yes.
Yes, and now she's still doing them with us. She's still like a huge part of the whole series. So it just kind of goes to show that if you just kind of start with an opportunity, even like you said, if you don't totally know what it is or you're just not exactly sure how it's going to pan out, you just never know where it could lead. And it really just helps the people on the team see your interest level and how you're willing to go above and beyond.
It was slightly out of my comfort zone, but it totally paid off. It was a great way for me to get my feet wet into a different facet of the company.
Yeah. Okay, so the other way that you can make a really big impact on any company is to anticipate the supervisor's needs that you're working with. So as a manager, there are times that the manager is going to be really busy and just have a ton of things on their to-do list in addition to giving you tasks. So say you're really kind of like going through your task list really quickly, it's super helpful to the manager if you are just anticipating what they might need next.
Yes.
Rather than waiting for them to come to you and say, or even just going to them and saying, what can I do? It's better if you can to say, I know it would be helpful if I did this because they've been talking about it.
So for example,
Right.
a lot of the things that we have interns do here would be just to quickly edit stories that come in from our writers.
Right.
And so I used to say, Allison, our managing editor, would say, Abby, can you go through and edit this? And I would say, yes, and I'll format it for the site.
Exactly.
Instead of having to wait for her to go, okay, now someone needs to format it, just do it.
Just doing it. Exactly. That's such a good example because you just know that it's going to have to get done, and rather than, having to have them wait and like readjust and stop what they're doing and then assign you something new, go ahead and just anticipate this is going to have to go through this next stage. I'm going to take care of that, and go
Get
from
to
there.
know the process, get to know the trajectory of what's going to happen on
Exactly.
your supervisor's task list.
Yeah.
So you can do it.
Love it.
Another really important thing you can do as an intern is to just make sure that you are being really open and having great communication with your supervisors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So something I think a lot of people don't really take into consideration about internships is that it has to be a two-way street.
Yes.
Not only are you helping the company as an intern, but the company should be helping you. Mm-hmm. It's a really great way as an intern to make sure that your resume is getting built up and you are learning a lot of skills.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's, even from a manager standpoint, it's helpful for me to assign things if I know that they're really wanting to learn about something. Mm-hmm. So if I know Abigail really wants to perfect, her writing skills in some way, I'm going to assign her more writing tasks as opposed to like formatting or things like that.
But Caitlin's not going to know that that's what I would like to be assigned if I don't tell her.
If she doesn't tell me, exactly. So don't be afraid to communicate. That doesn't mean that you are only going to do those tasks,
right?
But you just want to make sure that you are putting it out there. I'm really interested in learning about this and see, how that can help shape your time there.
Remember that the person who's supervising you, or if you are the supervisor, that the person that you are supervising, remember that we're all real people.
Yeah.
No one can read minds. Just open those channels of communication and it'll be more successful for both people.
Okay, so we obviously all have dream companies that we would love to intern for, right? But a lot of times they might be in really expensive and inaccessible cities or, just extremely competitive. So you might not always be at those kinds of companies, but that doesn't mean that you can't make the most out of the internship that you do have.
Right.
So say that you are working for a company that maybe again, it's not your dream company, but that they don't really have the kind of graphics that they really need for their marketing or promotional materials. And say you are really interested in doing graphics. You can then take that skill set that you have or want to hone and offer that as a service to them, despite the company. It doesn't have to be, Glamour magazine, right? So,
but that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do that if you can. But if you can't, then that's totally fine. You can you know, find ways to incorporate those skills. And then that way, later on down the line, you can turn that skill set that you've honed at this company and make it more accessible and a bigger, better shining point on your resume for like those dream companies that you might have.
Especially because that looks so good to say that you had the initiative to say, I noticed you're missing this, here's what I can offer you.
Exactly.
So not only does it hone your skills, it shows initiative as well.
And it's going to get you a great recommendation.
Definitely.
Okay, so now we're ready to hear from you guys. Let us know what you want to know about landing the perfect internship, what you can do to stand out, how you should be emailing, whatever. The sky is the limit. World is your oyster. We're going to answer you in the comments below.
We'll be back next week for another video, but in the meantime, check out theeverygirl.com.
Our spots are different, different colors. We make each other stronger, they ain't never gonna change. Woo! Cheetah girl, cheetah sister.
And then I'm cheetah girl. Words have different.
This is like a little more like a sexy coffee. I'm wearing. Because I do great. Good job. Keep up the good points.